Hey all you cool cats, this is Mina with a Girls Frontline video. This particular video is going to be a pretty good guide for new players to kind of dip their toes into and understand a little bit of all the systems that are in Girls Frontline. I'm going to start at the very top by just kind of going through the stuff that I would say is the most important for a new player, and we will go to kind of the least important. So while everything may not be in the perfect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 order, it's going to be in the order that a new player probably needs the information for. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. Alright, you might see some stuff pop up here and you're just gonna have to ignore some of it. Alright. Because we will talk about those later. So, the first thing that as a new player you're probably going to wonder is, this is a gacha game, correct? So where's the gacha and how bad is the gacha? Because this is typically one of the first things we talk about. So in this game, I would say that there's a couple different gachas. There is the gacha that I would consider to be for mostly your paid players, the people who are going to pay money, and then the people who aren't going to be paying money, the free-to-play players. They're sort of gacha that they're going to be utilizing a lot. I think the biggest difference between this game and some other games is that this one's more about the cosmetics being the whale part of the gacha, if I were to use the term. Whereas the other gacha is very friendly to a player without spending money. There are things that you will want to use your paid currency on, but let's go look at the gachas first. We'll start with the easier one to understand, which is the one that's kind of bouncing around down here at the bottom, the Prairial Allure. I probably said that wrong. So this is definitely the whale gacha. This is the cosmetic gacha. It's not saying that you can't obtain some of the stuff, it's just that I would say that someone who is trying to get all of it would probably be more in the whale category or super lucky. You obtain the currency used to use this gacha by either logging in, doing dailies, using your paid currency to buy it, or just maybe like events and stuff. So it's kind of like you get it randomly at points, and it's not exactly something that you're going to be able to accumulate a lot of without spending money. So the things that you get out of this gacha are costumes, and you get furniture, and those are the things you get. It's not units, it's just costumes and furniture. Costumes and furniture, well, I'll say this. Furniture does play a small part in the game, but it's not going to be like... I think the difference between seeing a whale in this game and seeing a whale in another game, whereas a whale might be able to just, like, you know... be so far ahead in a game, I don't think that gap would be anywhere near as astronomical. You'll come to see that too as you play this game. So just think of that as not that important. And I mean, well, no, I'm lying. Of course, cute outfits are important, right? So we're gonna back out of here. Because we'll discuss that at a later time, but just understand that that's one of the gachas. So now you're kind of like, well, what about the gacha where you get units? That's the one that I think most people would want to understand the concept of. So if we go over here into the factory tab, which is the tab underneath the dorm there, so factory, the first tab that you are taken to is the T-Doll production tab, and here we have 2 slots open, and this is the gacha. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on one of these, and I'm going to raise the values here a certain amount, and you're probably like, what are you doing? I'm gonna probably raise that even more, and And then I'm just gonna say, shh, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Um, so, what I'm doing here is I am kind of creating a recipe where I'm more likely to get a unit that I want rather than not. So, I think in most gachas that you play on mobile games, you kind of just randomly obtain anything from a pool. Well, in this game, you can kind of like narrow down your pool to some options. And I've narrowed down a pool to a certain option, and I'm going to go ahead and hit start production. So, the timer is a 3-hour, 55-minute timer. And you were probably wondering, like, well, what are all those resources that you just spent? If you look in the top right here, I've got some resources, 9,000 of some, 4,000 of another. So those resources you get from this game by just playing it. It's the resources you use to do the pulls. And then in order to do a pull, you need T-Doll contracts, which, as you can see here, I have like 40 of. And then I have these quick productions. So this is a pretty long T-Doll, and normally I would just let this ride out, but for the sake of seeing a pull, I'm going to go ahead and use a quick production here, and we're going to see what we get. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't own one of these. Well, it's not the one I wanted, but I mean, I guess I can't complain. Oh wow. Okay, so there's that's a 5-star unit that I just pulled. A 416. I mean, cool. Oh no. Oh no. All right. Well, we're gonna just click past that. So that's that's the gacha, and as you can see, that's, you know, you can get stuff from it, and by but yeah. Alright, so that's the unit gacha. You can also gacha equipment, and down here I'm just gonna raise these by a couple of values and just hit that. It's a 5-minute production one, so it's not gonna be it's gonna be a 2-star garbage equipment, so we'll let that one ride out for sure. I'm not gonna waste a quick production on 5 minutes. So yeah, the two gachas. Really and truthfully, it's not anywhere near as bad as... If you think that this is a bad system, it's nowhere near as bad as it seems. You get plenty of resources, and as you can see, I'm swimming in resources, and like the maximum amount you can raise these stats by is like 999. So like, even if I were to like just blow all my resources here, I could make it back in a day. Like, I was down to like a couple thousand yesterday, and I've brought it back up to here in just the matter of a day. Now, I guess the point is that, like, this isn't really one of those pay-to-win games, which, if you've looked at my channel, I try to avoid games that are pay-to-win. So, this is probably by far, of any game I've ever played, one of the least pay-to-win games I've ever gotten to play. And in terms of grindiness, it's not that grindy. But I think a lot of it is because it can do a lot of offline grinding. You saw when I first entered the game that there was some stuff that popped up that I was just like, please just go away, and I kind of clicked it away. And they were just gathering resources for me, and they do that even when you're offline. So, now that we've reached the point of talking about the gachas and finishing that up, let's go into the shop, because again, this is probably where you're going to be like, so how much money are you going to spend, like real money, in this game? And my personal opinion is that you do not need to spend money. You see that I have a character here on screen right now, and I did spend money for her costume, and it was a birthday present for myself, and I regret none of it. So, how much money have I spent? Hardly any. So let me go into the shop menu. I basically bought myself a birthday present, and let's see. There's the monthly gems card, which, as you can see here, is 30 gems per day for 30 days for 900 gems total. I'm gonna back out of that. So 900 gems total for $4, and then you can see the one that's closest to it is this 800 gem for $10. So as you can see, the monthly gems card, easily the best value here, as it should be, because you get it over a period of time instead of right away. When you first play the game, any amount of gems that you buy will automatically get you a bunch of nifty rewards and kind of like get you off your feet. I did spend the 99 cents when I first started just to see what the game was like. I kind of see it as like, oh, I paid for an app purchase. And I didn't understand what I was doing, and I made a couple of mistakes, and honestly, if I'm being really honest with you, you don't need that. You don't need to do any of this. If you're like, but I don't, if you're the type of person who's like, I don't mind spending money, how much money do I need to drop at the start? I would say go for this this monthly gems card, and you'll be on your way. And so now you're like, what do I spend gems on? Because now that I'm spending gems, what should I buy? I'm going to tell you right away, do not spend gems on the gacha. Oh, okay. So I just had a logistics return. I'm gonna idle on this screen really quick, and I know this is like jumping around in my conversation, but since this is up here right now, you see that I have obtained ammo and rations and some other bonus item. This is a logistics, and this is how you can get materials to do your gachaing or just playing the game. So if you go into combat here, and in combat you go down to logistics, you'll see that I have a couple of tabs here unlocked, and you'll see that I have units going out and acquiring me materials, and there's a reason why I'm bringing this up now, because it is important that you have teams running around and grabbing you materials. One, because you need materials to play the game properly, and two, the materials are used to do the gacha. So obviously you want teams working on that. So this kind of goes back to the whole shop thing. What should I spend gems on, Mina? And that is this infrastructure tab. And the main thing you really want to unlock as soon as possible are more echelons. I'm not going to spend gems here. I don't have enough, so I'm just clicking on it to show you. The first time you buy these, they are half off. So you only need 440 to unlock your first extra team. Why do you want teams, besides the fact that you can do echelons for it? And the reason why is if I go back over here to the logistics tabs, I have 4 deployed right now. And that's 4 out of 4. You never get any more to deploy than 4. So you really want to have 4. And you start the game with 4 teams. And you can actively fight on a map with 2 teams. So if you have 2 teams actively fighting on a map, or 2 teams you want to keep fighting on a map, then obviously you want a total of 6 teams at least to have 4 of them constantly going out and gathering you resources. And then 2 teams that you can use to just actively play as. And then you're wondering, well, what are these extra teams that you can buy beyond the 6 teams? Like, what would be the purpose of those teams? And the answer to that question is auto battle. So if I go to a mission down here and I click on this, you'll see that there are possible rewards here, which are units. You can get units, and if you click auto battle, you need to have 2 teams, and you will deploy them out for a certain period of time, and they will gacha randomly get you a couple of these units. So that's the point of having more teams. So the more teams you have, the more resources and things you can acquire. So teams are very valuable and are worth your gems. They are the #1 thing I would spend gems on. And for that matter, I would say that infrastructure is kind of the only thing you should focus on, especially if you're the type of person who's just going to play this free to play. Focus on getting those teams, and then from there maybe unlock some more whoa, don't click on any of those. I don't want any of that. Maybe buy some more T-doll slots down here. You know, you could buy a dorm slot and things like that. Try not to spend money on like your production slots or anything, because even though it seems like, gosh, I want more production slots, you don't really need them. And it's kind of like they're more nice to haves and less of a need. If I were to describe the things that I desire the most as a player, it's definitely getting more of these teams, echelon teams. Probably the second thing I would want is maybe more T-doll slots, because I am a collector. But if I were to describe, like, well, let's say I wasn't a collector and I was fine with just keeping whatever, I'd probably open up more dorms, I would say, I guess, just for power leveling stuff. But I mean, the thing is like, these things are kind of like permanent increases, whereas like some of these other things are just kind of like easy expendable stuff that I feel like you will have a higher rate of just like regret after buying them, whereas infrastructure is kind of like there's no regrets, because you'll always think of that as a permanent increase to your account, a permanent benefit. But anyways, so that's the source of gems. Additionally, if you're a new player, something that you can do to make sure that you get gems is go over here, and in the share menu you can share, and you'll get, every week you can get 30 extra gems by just going in here and sharing. There's a couple other places where you can hit the share button, but that's the one that I always remember. I'm gonna go down to the equipment thing, because that's bugging me to see. Alright, so I received that. So we've talked about gacha, we've talked about a little bit about logistics, we've talked about the use of gems, so let's kind of go into the actual meat of the game and how to actually play the game. So, the game is a little more like a chess match, and for the most part, when you're first starting the game, you'll notice that you're just kind of like cruising along, and you won't have any problems. You'll hit a boss stage, I'm sure, that will knock you off your feet. Probably this one down here, the 2-6, maybe some of the earlier ones, depending on the player. But anyways, I'm going to tell you right now, you should feel no shame in recruiting friend units and having the friend units beat levels for you by playing defensively and having your friends just beat the floors for you. Because you want to get to exactly the point that I'm at, no matter what. You can only borrow friends maybe 20 times a day or something like that. And yeah, you definitely want to progress like that. So you'll see that I have chapter 00 unlocked, which I'll explain later on how to do. But and I have chapter 5 unlocked. I don't have chapter 6 unlocked. I haven't done anything in chapter 5. If I go into chapter 4 here, you'll see that I only have bronze stars in them, because I kind of cheesed them. And then if I go to this difficulty right here in emergency, so I switched from normal to emergency, in case you guys didn't see that, you'll notice that I have even beaten the 4-4 here. And there's a reason why I've done all of this that I will discuss later. But just know that, like, this is ideally where you want to be. You want to make it to this point as much as you can. And this is like going from, I don't know if I would still, this is probably like the end of early game, I would say. Like, getting here is just like, I finally made it out of the early game, or I'm at the end of early game, and now I can really work on really building up this strength that I need to win the game. So, or not win the game, but, you know, get better. So, let's go back to chapter 1, and we're going to discuss how to actually play this game. And I feel like the best map to discuss how to play this game is the second map here, 1-2, because 1-2 teaches you a lot. I'm going to go into this map, and we're going to, first of all, let's take a look at this map. I'm going to back out the screen here, take a look. So, as you can see, we've got 4 enemies on the screen. We have my base here that's lit up, wanting me to deploy somebody, and you can see that the enemy's base over here, which is red and says command post if I zoom in. So to win a match, you simply need to have a unit resting on the command post, or you need to somehow have control of the command post. But that's only to get the bronze medal. The question is how do I get the silver medal? How do I get the gold medal? And so I'm going to go ahead and deploy a unit here. We're going to go with this team. And so what I'm first going to talk about is how do I know how to get these medals? So if you go and you look at the top left here, not the select operation, which backs you out of the fight, but this combat summary. If you click on this, you'll see this mission report. And in this mission report, you'll see over here, gold medal, complete with S rank. So, and then it describes how to get the S rank. You need to obtain a victory within 3 turns and have allied echelons eliminate 4 enemy targets while having no loss or echelon withdrawal. So, important thing to note in case you don't understand completely. That means you need to end on or before turn 3. You can end on turn 3 or before it, but not after it. So if you're on turn 4, it's a no-go. And this depends on these conditions change based on maps. So this particular one wants 3 turns, not 4. 3 turns or less. And silver medal, and this has been every map that I've seen, and I don't know if it's different, is just occupy every node on the map, and bronze medal is just complete the map's objectives, and the map's objectives are usually just capture the command post. I've never seen anything else besides that. So those are the breakdowns of the medals. You don't need to get them all in one go. You can get a gold medal on one and a silver medal on another, and that'll complete all of the objectives. So you don't need to complete them all in one go. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my unit here, and I'm going to hit start operation. And there's going to be a lot of stuff happening here, and it's going to basically be like, okay, this is your turn. You may have saw that like she ate up some resources. I'll discuss that later, but we're not going to worry about that right now. We're going to focus on how do I get the gold medal. Like the gold medal is the one that I think is the one that you'll need a little more explanation on. I feel like silver medal you can figure out on your own. You just need to turn every one of these squares blue, however you can. But let's figure out the gold medal. So I want to end this on turn 3 or before, and I need to capture or kill these four enemies on the screen. Now it's important to note that you must defeat the 4 enemies, not a friend unit. You need to defeat the 4. So you first select your unit like this. You select her so that you have like the reticle on her, and you can see that I have action points too. Any action you do will cost you a point, and by that I mean anytime you move a unit, anytime you deploy a unit, it's going to eat up an action turn. Your units anyways. So I'm going to move her right here, and now I have 2 options. I can either move to this node right here, or I can move to this node right here, and these 2 nodes are different, as you can see. That node has something called a I think a heliport or something like that, and this one's just a blank node. So for right now, I'm going to move right here to the heliport, and you're going to know that I'm going to have the combat here, and you're going to see what the combat's like. I've turned off auto battle right here because I don't want to watch this battle. It goes a lot faster if I just hit auto or turn off auto battle, because otherwise they'll try to use their skills and waste time. Anyways, so I've defeated the enemy. I'm now standing on this heliport here, and yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna back out so that we can kind of see the whole enemy field. And I'm at 0 action points. I'm gonna end round. I'm gonna end the round, and you see that the point that I was standing on lit up blue, because I have gained control of it. And now it's my turn again. Now something different about my turn from last turn is that I have 3 action points, as you can see in the bottom right. 3 instead of 2. Now, I could move 1 here, 2 there, and then 3 there. I could move right there on the 3rd turn, or I can move 1 there, 2 there, and 3 there. Now, I'm going to tell you that it's better to go this way and kill these 3 enemies, because I need to kill 4 enemies and end either on or before turn 3. I know I've said that a lot of times, but I'm trying to make it very clear. So, I'm going to go ahead and defeat these enemies. Oh, nice. I've obtained a 2-star unit. I will need these 2-star units to show you something later, but we're going to go ahead and defeat this guy here. Alright. Another 2-star unit. And we're going down here. Oh, and you see that question mark that that's on this node right here? Whenever you see those question marks, you'll either obtain or lose resources. That time I gained some resources, so we're gonna go ahead and go here, fight this enemy, and now I have killed 4 enemies on this map, and I am still on turn 2. I'm going to end my turn. I feel like I might have forgotten to explain why I have 3 action points. So I feel like I did. So the reason why I have 3 action points is every time you capture a heliport, you gain an additional action point. So that's why. Anyways, so I ended on turn 2 and now it's turn 3. There were no enemies out, so they didn't get to do anything with their turn. And now I get to move on the command post. I'm still on turn 3. I'm going to end my round, and now I will have captured their base on turn 3 with great success, and I should have an S rank here. Yes, because I obtained all of the objectives with an S ranking. I got another 2-star unit. So let me go back on that map. Oh, I got another logistics coming back. Be gone. Alright, so I'm going to go back on this map, and the reason why is I'm going to show you another way of completing this map, and this way I'm going to complete on a whole turn earlier now. Something I'm going to discuss now is that you may have noticed that my resources on these units, there's a little blue and orangey bar, and one of them's for meaning rations and one of them's meaning ammo. It means that they have used up rations and ammo either sometime in combat recently, and they need to refill. They can only refill on the command post or the heliport. So I'm going to go ahead. It has to be one that you own. You can't obtain resources from nodes that you don't own. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and start operation, and it will automatically I'll refill the unit whenever they end a turn on there. So I'm going to go ahead and move. We're going to do the same action as before, except I'm going to win on turn 2. So we're going to go ahead and fight this enemy. I'm going to end my round. Let's see that I have captured that point. And I'm going to lose some resources here when it comes to my turnaround because I need to restock. And they've restocked their stuff. And you can force a restock. And I'm going to go ahead in this menu and kind of show you. So if, like, let's say you landed on one of your nodes and you needed to restock, and you needed to restock before your round ended or whatever, you can hit this resupply right there, which my units don't need. But that isn't the only thing you can do on this menu. If you needed to do a repair, and this is something people don't know, and I've seen people talk about, like, they've reached the final chapter before finding out about this, is you can click on a unit that's injured and repair them. However, if you perform a repair mid-combat, you will not be able to obtain a gold medal or an S ranking on that map that time around. So you're kind of saying, well, I'm going to give up my gold medal, but I need to repair in order to win this map, if that makes sense. So, alright. We have 3 moves, and you're going to see me make the same 3 moves again, because the goal here is to win on turn 2. Because I want to win on turn 2 with an S ranking. So let's go ahead and we're going to move across this map here and see expert strats here. Alright. We'll move down here. Alright, so you'll see that I have 0 action points remaining. I'm on turn 2. There's no way I can move to this command post. How am I going to win on turn 2? And the answer is by using a friend. So I'm going to go over here and click this heliport right here. I'm going to go to support echelon. And I'm going to go down and I'm going to find one of my weaker friends to show this example so I don't waste resources. I'm gonna give it to Lolly here because Lolly's a friend of mine and they're just starting out and they can get some extra friend points. So when I deployed my friend unit here, I clicked on her and you can't directly control her. I can't tell them to move. See, it gives me this error. Friends echelon cannot be directly commanded. Please set a battle strategy instead. So when you click on a unit and click on them again until they have these 3 things they can do, you can tell them to either eliminate enemies, standby, and capture HQ. As you can see right now, she's on standby, meaning she will not move at all from this square no matter what. I can tell her to eliminate enemies, which is she will the AI will move towards an enemy or fight an enemy in whatever way that they deem the best way. I can't say that I quite understand their methods of which enemy they target, but they do target and chase down enemies. And the last option, which is capture HQ, which upon clicking, what she's going to do is she's going to make a move towards this command post. Now, we're on turn 2. I can't order her to do anything outside of just picking one of those 3 options, but when I hit end round, pay attention, I'm still on turn 2. She moves 1 step forward towards the command post, and she has captured the node right there. Now, you'll see that the node of the base changed to blue. Now you can see turn 2, and still there. Turn 2. Battle rounds were 2. I won this in 2 turns without doing too much different from the first time around. And this is kind of some of the strategy about this game, is that you kind of have to think of it more like a chess match rather than like your typical power numbers to or other types of strategy. There's other things you can do with friend units that'll help you clear maps in unique ways, but this is kind of like a basic sort of strategy. Now, how did I capture the enemy base, you might have asked? Well, that's because the nodes that were surrounding it, all of the nodes that were surrounding the base, turned blue. If the enemy does not take back their base, or at least one of the nodes surrounding that base, they're going to lose. So the enemy has to either attack one of my units and take back the node, or they have to somehow take back their base by landing on their base or whatever. And the same goes for you. If you have red dots surrounding your base, you're going to lose it unless you have somebody that can kill the units around the base and land and change one of those nodes to blue. And by the way, do not ever let your base get surrounded by reds. That's a bad way. It's a bad way to play. So anyways, you may have noticed that I've obtained a lot of 2-star dolls from this. So I'm going to go ahead and back out of here and yeah. Ooh, a great success. We'll take that. Alright, so anyways, I got a lot of 2-star dolls. So I'm going to go over here to the factory menu. And we've talked about the T-doll production. We've talked about equipment. So let's go ahead and talk about enhancements. So I'm going to go ahead and click on enhancements, and I'm going to click on a one of these dolls. I'm going to go with probably her, just because I need more evasion. So anyways, whenever you click on a doll right here, you're going to go into enhancements. Now it's important to say that whenever a unit levels, they don't necessarily get stat gains from leveling. However, what they do is their stat gain potential grows. So if you look at here where it says damage 23 out of 23 and evasion 41 out of 53 and accuracy 10 out of 10, things like that. What that means is that she can get more evasion here. She's capped on all the other ones. How did she get capped on them? By using these dolls as, they're called dolls, I forget, I say that sometimes. Using these units as fodder. So 2-star dolls are used as pure fodder. That's what, well, most of them anyways. 2-star dolls are what I use for fodder. So you're going to go ahead and select a couple, and you'll notice here when I select this 4th one, you'll see over in the right hand side where it says damage and then evasion, the evasion stat will go from 41 to 42. And I'm going to click a couple more dolls, and you'll notice that right here 42 to 43. Click a couple more, 43 to 44. And since I can't go up any higher with the 2 remaining ones, I'm just going to stop at the 43 to 44. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to go and enhance. And there you go. I've powered up my unit to now have 44 evasion instead of 41. And that's enhancement. The other thing you may have noticed that while in combat, I had multiple of the same units. And that is because if you go to the dummy link area, and I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click on we'll click on WA 2000. You'll see how she's got like 2 there, and you'll notice that she has a ×2 up here underneath her stars. And so that means she's had at least 1 dummy link. And you can do your first dummy link at level 10, your second one at level 30, your 4th one at level 70, and your 5th one at level, was it 90? I think it's 90. I haven't made it there, so forgive me if I'm wrong. And those are when you can upgrade your dolls. And there are a couple ways of doing it. 1 is by using cores, and 2 is by using dupes. So if I had a second WA 2K, I would go ahead and click here in the select character, and there would be a second WA 2K, and I would click her, and I would use her as a dummy. Or if you look down here in the replacement cores, for every dupe that you do not have, she will cost me 15 replacement cores to fill out. So you can think of this 5-star unit as requiring basically 1 dupe equals 15 cores. So you either use the dupe and save the cores, or use the cores and save the dupe. There's not a lot of reasons to keep multiples of the same units, so I would say go ahead and use dupes. And now I'm going to click on this 4-star doll just so that you can see the difference. This 4-star one has a cost of 9, so as you can see, the stars are different in terms of core cost. When you're starting out, I would say try to avoid using cores until you understand who's worth in your investment. You can do whatever you want with dupes. I'm not gonna tell you like you can't do that, because dupes are fine. So we're gonna. I think I've explained dummy linking quite nicely. We're gonna go into the retirement. Sorry, I've been talking a lot and I don't have any drinks near me. So anyways, retirement. You can retire either equipment or dolls. So I'm going to click on equipment, and I'm going to go down here and click on some random 2-star thing. And when I go and I destroy this, I will get 1 manpower, 2 rations, and nothing else. I got to tell you, not worth it. So I'm going to stop doing that. And I'm going to go over here and click select T-dolls. And you can do the same thing with the T-doll. You get like a minuscule amount of that. And that's just not worth it. Use your 2-star dolls for enhancing your units. It's a better source of what to do with it. Now you may have noticed that the core aspect down here, this core element, isn't going to give you cores if you use 2-star dolls. However, if you were to break down a 3-star doll, or a 4-star doll, or a 5-star doll, you would get cores out of them. So that's where kind of like getting a bunch of 3-stars that you don't need or aren't very good, or even 4-stars that aren't very good, you can break them down into cores and use those cores to enhance units that you do like. And since you can get 3-star and 4-star dolls out of the game from just like clearing certain maps, you might as well like try and progress as far as you can to get to the point where you can really farm for cores. So, As you can see, this is a lot of systems to go over, but we finished talking about factory. We finished talking about basically some of the simple combat missions. We've talked about logistics a bit. You know, this is just gathering resources. I don't think you need to explain all that much. We can talk about combat simulations. So there are a couple different combat simulations that you can do. The bottom two down here, I can't do. One of them's not in the game, the Neural Cloud Corridor. It's not yet released. And this other one requires me to beat a stage that I am nowhere near able to complete. But there's these three other ones, and they're unlocked on different days of the week. This one's open Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. This one's open on Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. And this one's open on whatever days. Oh, there it is. Monday, Thursday, Sunday. So Sunday becomes the day of everything's open sort of thing. And it works out nicely. So capsule modes allow you to get basically a resource that you can use instead of using those 2-star dolls for fusions. Let me go back into this factory menu so that way you can see it. So if I go over here to enhancement and I click on one of my units, I can click one of these little things right here and use them as basically fodder for upgrading a unit. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back over here and we're going to go back to the combat simulation data mode, which allows you to get basically these things for research. And since we're bringing up research, I'm going to click on the research tab. So that's where you get these things that you can use to basically upgrade a unit's ability. It's important to note that when you're upgrading a unit's ability, they will be removed from being able to be put into anything else, or basically you won't be able to send out whatever team they're on because they'll be busy training. And you're also out for however long it takes for them to complete that training, along with the resources that it consumes. You will see this quick training contract. A big mistake I made when I first started out was I spent those frivolously, not understanding like, I'm sure I'll get plenty more. Don't do that. Save them for the super high level quick training that you may want to do in the future. 24-hour long trainings that you just want to complete immediately, instead of wasting them on 1-hour ones like I did. It's not worth it. Just don't. And you're probably like, well, what does raising abilities do? So let me go to, okay, here she is. This unit right here, I've upgraded her ability quite a few times. I'm gonna go ahead and show her. So down here you'll see that she has grenade salvo and it's at level 7. Initial cooldown 6 seconds, skill cooldown 17 seconds, and launches 3 grenades consecutively that deal 4.2x damage to enemies within a radius of 1.5 units. She is a good unit for grenade damage, and I kind of just figured, well, if I'm going to upgrade anybody's ability, I'm gonna upgrade hers because I know that I'm gonna use her a lot for grenading. So yeah, grenade damage. And that's where you upgrade their abilities. I haven't upgraded too many units' abilities. I kind of upgraded randomly, not knowing the importance of some of them. This one I upgraded to level 3. Damage focus. But yeah, so we've talked about upgrading basically a unit's ability there, and that's the menu to do so. Let's go back to the combat simulation. And so the last one we're going to talk about is XP mode, and this one's pretty self-explanatory. You get XP from the stages. You can deploy multiple units to the map, but what's cool is that unlike other maps where they actually have to participate in the fighting to get XP, even the units that aren't fighting will get XP. So if you bring along a team full of like level 1 units, they can just soak up all that XP and really get boosted by one overpowered team, which is kind of how I leveled my second team. I had my main team here run around the map and kill stuff, while this team over here just kind of like sat there and just gained experience passively without doing anything. So yeah, that's an important map to know. I'm going to go ahead and show you what an enhancement exercise looks like. I'm going to go ahead and... You only have to defeat one enemy for the enhancement one, so I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 energy. I'm going to move random square. I don't think you can ever have a bad square in the enhancement map. I'm just going to go over here, and these guys are going to get mowed down. I guess I could have turned abilities back on. This is why I didn't bother turning them on for the earlier videos, because they would have been firing off and just wasting my time doing that. Yeah, nicely done. So, mission accomplished. I got some rewards out of that. I'm gonna return to base. Oh, and I got a quest done. It was a daily quest to complete combat simulations. And obviously you want to do your dailies. I don't think I need to explain that. A lot of these dailies you'll have to do by just, you know, just by proxy of learning how to play this game, you'll do them. The hardest one for me to complete is repairing the dolls, because mine barely get damaged. So I kind of have to do some stuff to get them hurt. Oh, and I sometimes have a hard time doing the visit a friend's dorm and collect batteries, because that kind of depends on my friends to collect batteries, and I can never assuredly make sure that they do that. But yeah. And equipment enhancement is something I can't do at all, because I have to complete Midnight 1-4. And I haven't done that yet. Oh, come on, man. Stop popping up. So, we've talked about a lot of these things. I guess what should we do next? I guess I should show you the repair, and the best way to show you repair is by getting my units hurt. And the best way of getting my units hurt is by explaining to you where you want to get to in the game. So, you really want to get to the point of completing Emergency 4-4. That is your goal to get out of basically the early game or whatever. And the reason why is because by completing Chapter 4, you'll unlock Chapter 6. And by completing Emergency 4-4, you will unlock Chapter 0. The reason why you want these 2 chapters unlocked is so that way logistics can have you open up to Chapter 5 and have Chapter 0 logistics. The more of these higher level logistics you have, the better the rewards are. I think the best ones for me to do right now are Chapter 5's code number 22, code number 23, Chapter 4's code number 17, and Chapter 3's 13. However, because I'm low on parts, I try to do the ones that will give me more parts. So that's why I'm doing that chapter. That chapter's code 21. Anyways, yes, unlocking those unlocks better logistics, which is totally worth your time. And the other reason why you want to get to this point is because Chapter 4's Emergency 4-3 is a great map for you to farm on. Once you've gotten your teams to the point that they can farm here, this is where you want to be. So I'm going to go ahead, and the thing that you have to do is, this map has 2 spots you can deploy at. Just kind of showing you this map really quick, just zooming around. You always have to have a team on your command post. In the case of this map, you want your weaker team to be on the command post. Basically, whatever team, it doesn't matter, they're not going to be moving. And then you want your stronger team, the one that's going to defeat the enemies, on this map. Alright. The reason why is, backing out, taking a look at here, the combat post that you need to take over is up here in this top right corner. So I'm going to go ahead and start this combat. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom back in. And you'll notice that I have 4 action points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. And my team formation is not ideal for this map. I will explain later how to make it better. But I'm going to show you something about this map that will show you why I normally would change up this team formation. but I've got a bad formation for this one. So the current formation I'm on right now, you'll notice that my team right there is being highlighted by this orange square, and she is going to take damage from a Mordor back over here in this this corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and... Now normally the formation that I have set up is actually ideal for a lot of maps, but this particular one, I actually use a different formation. She's gonna get hit by another mortar. Alright. We got another 2-star unit. Move up here. Oh, I got a 3-star unit. FFC, too. I will not break her down. I think she's adorable. She's always eating chocolate. It's cute. That's the first time I've gotten FFC from this map. I usually get the really bad units that I have no problems destroying. Alright, so we have defeated this enemy here. Alright. I'm gonna end, and I will have won the map because I took over the command post over here. So yeah, this is a good map to farm because you have a high chance of getting 3-star units, and you can basically win in one go, and you'll be able to level your units, and the enemies you have to fight aren't that hard. So let's go into the repair menu. You'll notice I have 2 units that I have to repair. I have to repair my tank, which is going to take 3 minutes and 37 seconds, and I have to repair this other unit for 7 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and force some quick repairs because I don't care, and I have too many quick repairs, and I might as well. And I'm going to change their formation. So the formation that they're in is kind of the one that I would say I would use for almost every map. And the reason why is because they're all in the back line, which means they get more time to hit the enemies and prepare their cooldowns and everything, and they kind of get you get the advantage by doing this. So this is a really good formation right here. And additionally, the units I have are doing a good job boosting each other, which I will explain later. And I'm going to go over here and click Presents, and I'm going to use the second... Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to save this one because I adjusted it. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to use my Present number 2. And my Present number 2 looks quite differently. Present number 2 has my 2 tanks up in this top right here. And I've got my DPS back here, and they're all still boosting each other quite nicely. It's just they're not in the same formation. So remember how my team was getting hit by those mortars before. I'm going to go down to the combat, the emergency 4-3 again. And we're going to see how this goes differently. And you might not be able to see it clearly when I first do this. You're probably going to think, well, I didn't see too much of a difference in the combat, but it's going to be a way different outcome. So I'm going to go ahead and move my units up here. And I want to point out that the units I have aren't too terribly hard to get. 3 of the 5 units I have here are story units, and they're very good. Do not ignore story units. They're worth your time, especially the first one you get. She is one of the few units that can be used on pretty much like any team that has ARs and be like a beneficial team member. And the Scorpion unit that you will get from just doing like missions and stuff, which is the girl with the eye patch. She's an SMG, and she makes for a very good beginner unit. She's not a story unit, but my personal opinion, she's kind of worth your time and having. Plus, she's only 3-star. She's very easy to take care of, so you know, we go ahead and finish this last enemy up here. And so why did I have my units in this formation instead of the previous formation? The real reason why is because when you first enter the map, the Mordor is sitting there. And because your team is closer to the front, they're going to fire quickly at the enemy that's there. And they're going to take out that mortar real quickly. And because they take out the mortar real quickly, nobody's going to get hit by the mortars, which means your back line is going to be more protected. You'll have less repair costs. And yeah, you'll see, like, I only have to repair one unit. And she randomly will get damaged anywhere between a 2-minute timer to a 5-minute timer. And it really doesn't matter. In fact, I find it that she gets damaged less usually by just making that formation. But that's for that specific map. I would not use that formation on every map. This formation is for farming that map. There are probably other maps that this formation might be good on, but do not do this formation if you're a new player. Stick to the more defensive one. So now let's discuss what are formations? Like what am I doing here? Why do I have these units? Why am I doing this with these units? Like what's the point of them? So you'll see right here, this is the third story unit you'll get, this is the first one, and this is the second one you get. And they are all ARs. They're all assault rifles. And then you can see that the other two units I have are submachine guns. ARs and submachine guns go together. They like each other. They like to hang out. They buff each other. You'll notice that if I click on the submachine gun here, she is buffing ARs. If you look at her, she is also buffing ARs. Now if I click the ARs in the back, buffing SMG. And buffing SMG with the one down here. The only difference is the first story unit you get, her right there. She buffs ARs. And assault rifles are your DPS. And your submachine guns are your tanks, basically. They're evasion tanks. So they create this really nice synergy, this team right here. And the only one that required me to like actually pull and beef up was UMP45, which is this one right here. She is the only one that I had to pull. I have pulled a couple of her. She is amazing. She is definitely worth your time investing in. As for these other story units, every story unit is worth it. You cannot pull dupes of the story units. Do not destroy them. You will regret it for the rest of your game life. You will have to core them in order to beef them up. So your cores need to go to these units. And I would say that because there's so many units you will have to level and teams you'll have to build out and stuff like that, I would go ahead and say level your story units first when you acquire them. Make them your priority. Because they're just a solid choice. There's a fourth story unit that I have right here. She is, as I'm told, better for late game. I haven't really seen her do all that much, but you know, I don't think she's bad. So, I'm told she's a late game unit, so she's back there, and that's my story. Where was I? Yeah. So we talked about formations. Let's see, what else can I talk about? Talk about the importance of units. Oh, so another side note. Any unit you have at the front of the party will get extra XP, so you know, that's the benefit of putting someone at the front, is you level them faster. So we've been over repairs, we've been over research, combat, formation factory. Let's go into... I never clicked on that event tab. Oh, those are the logins. I don't think we need to discuss quests all that much. They're kind of self-explanatory. When you get them, you get them. Mail is where you collect your stuff. We've been through the shop. I've never clicked on the ranked. Oh yeah, I have actually. That's just people showing off stuff. Friends tab, very important. Add people. Add people. Have people add you. What you can do is, you may have noticed that I've obtained some friend points along the way, and with these friend points, you can buy stuff from the friendship store. And this is just like, you know, icon stuff. You can, obviously, if you save up a ton of friend points, you can buy new backgrounds. Yeah, there's some cute things to kind of decorate your ID card. I got something to decorate it. And something to also know is like your ID card. If you look down here at my support echelon, I think my eyesight's really bad. I think that says that I have a level 68 there and some 67s. So you kind of have to update this every now and then and switch it to make it better. So I don't have a night team, but I am offering my day team right there. So there you go. That's the day team. Make sure you add friends. All right, back out of that. Let's see. I guess. Oh yeah, down here in this little switchy thing. I'm avoiding talking about something you may have noticed if you know about this game. So there's an armory thing down here, and what I'm gonna do is I obtained that chocolate eating girl. So I'm gonna scroll down here and where is she? Where's that chocolate eater? There she is. So any units you pull after, like the first time you pull them, they'll become locked. The second, and what's nice is you can see the 416 next to her is locked. That's the first time I obtained her, so she's automatically locked. However, if you want to lock them, you need to go ahead and click this button right here that I'm clicking, and make sure that it's highlighted like that. You click on a unit, but here's the thing. The only way to lock them is you need to click that right there and make it white again, because it's basically trying to confirm what you're doing. Like you're like, I don't want this unit anymore, so I'm gonna click that off and I'm gonna lock that. Yeah, so you get the idea. Lock your units. Alright, so I'm gonna back out of there. Alright, so now we're into the last thing that I'm going to talk about, which is dorms. And this is where you can deploy furniture and other things and decorate. There's a couple of things to note about when you come into the dorm area, and that's you can collect hearts the first time a day that you're here with all of your units. They'll have little hearts above them and you can click them. And those hearts, once you get them high enough on a unit, the units will be able to have an oath. And I'll go over here so that way you can see that. Formation. You're gonna click on this unit right here. You'll see that she is 75 out of 100, and you'll see this oath thing. I'm gonna click it right there. Oath is enabled when affection reaches 100. When you reach that, you'll get some stat bonuses and stuff. And so yeah, oath. So that's one of the benefits of the dorm, is just getting an oath with your character. So you don't ignore dorms. Don't ignore them. So the other thing you get is these auxiliary rooms. I'm going to go down to the rescue station. So for the rescue station, there are pets. And these pets you can move. These pets you can acquire, this cat here or this dog. If you decide to adopt them, which is a lot of batteries, they'll basically help generate batteries faster, and batteries are simply the currency used to either upgrade these stations and stuff, or they are used to create combat reports. And I've already got some combat reports being generated right here, which is why there's a cooldown going on right there. But yeah, so batteries. Useful little things. What are combat reports? Combat reports are basically an XP potion or XP resource that basically dumps XP into a unit. So you can level a unit by a couple thousand XP by consuming those. You get You get the combat reports by using batteries and surplus XP. Surplus XP is basically the extra XP left over that you don't get from either maxed out units or sometimes just from units just because you've upgraded parts of your dormitories. Alright, so it's a long way to say that the dorms are basically a way to generate more XP and be cute. That's it. So that's the whaliest part of the game right now, is that this furniture helps generate XP. It's a long way to say it. You want to visit your friends, and what you can do when you visit your friends is, one, if they've collected batteries, you can collect their battery leftovers. Like, okay, here's one. This person collected batteries, so I can click this, and I've got some batteries! Woo! And the other thing you can do is you can like people's dorm rooms, and for 10 a day you can gain, oops, I've already liked this person today. So from basically going in and collecting from, or liking their dorm or whatever, you can get, oh, I skipped one! No! I don't even remember which one that was. Dang it. No. Whatever. By liking them, you get some friendship points. 10 a day. Right now, there's an event going on that people need likes in order to complete the event. So just be courteous and try and like whoever you can. Where was that dorm? Oh, there it is. All right. I've already liked several people's. Oh no, I passed it again. Whatever. There is a daily that wants you to collect 5 times per day, which is the hardest daily for me to do because I always forget to do it. But the reward is that you get 20 batteries for doing it. And I am not going to forget today. You'll see what it's like for me to be a champion of doing this. I'm trying to remember to hit like. There you go. I will like your dorm. You have a gorgeous dorm, you beautiful whale. Anytime I see somebody's dorm look like this, I'm like, you gorgeous whale, you. Oh, I reached today's limit. Okay. Oops. Alright, let's back out so that way I can show you. Yeah, 20 batteries. Give me them batteries. Alright, I'm gonna go into, oh, come on. Let me go! We're almost done with the video. I'm gonna go back to the dorms. Sorry. I actually appreciate those logistics running in. It's just, when I'm trying to make a video, it's like, come on, man. Alright, I don't think I have enough to upgrade the desk, do I? No, it needs 225. I could upgrade this messy desk. No, I'm gonna save for the plain desk. I'm gonna save for the plain desk. We're gonna upgrade that. Not today. Maybe not even tomorrow. But we will do it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. This is kind of like an all-encompassing trying to get a new player to understand a lot of the systems. I feel like this game is actually not all that complicated. The problem is learning all the systems. Once you get all of the systems, the game's really easy and really free-to-play friendly. So I hope you guys will give this game a chance. Even if you don't understand everything that I talked about, you can come back to this video and kind of revisit aspects of it that maybe you didn't understand the first time you played. So thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoy Girls Frontline. I would like to make more videos like this, so if you like it, please leave a comment, subscribe, say something. I'll enjoy it because I really love this game and I really want to talk to people about it. See you guys next time. Bye-bye!